So this is my review of Schism, an indie feature film written and directed by Thor Moreno, who I reviewed one of his films previously called When Jack Came Back. Really enjoyed that. And yeah, very happy to say that I've also enjoyed Schism. Now, I'm going to be very careful in this review because it's dealing with some mysterious elements and I don't want to include spoilers, so I will be slightly vague in terms about the plot as best I can, but yeah, apologies if I do give anything away because it's quite a hard story to kind of get into without giving things away. And yeah, the film is about a character called Nora, played by Cait Moira, brilliantly played by Cait Moira, and she experiences a trauma early in her life, and then a few years later finds herself in a medical facility that is looking after her, and she's there with someone that she befriends called Mara, played by Cheyenne Good, and the two of them are hoping to get away at some point and go and live in Panama, I think is where they sort of plan to live, but they've got something coming up which is a potential alternative treatment on an island, which Nola is about to go to, but the night before she goes, her friend kills herself, hangs herself. So off to a very bad start, but Nola goes anyway, and she gets to the island. It's across 6 miles of very cold water, apparently shark infested, which is not the best, experience, but it explains why there's a lack of security. But Nola starts to kind of get quite concerned. She gets quite, bad vibes from the nursing staff there, and yeah, soon understands that maybe she's made the wrong decision, and hopefully she can survive. It's full of, intrigue and mystery. You're trying to work out what's quite going on, because another element to the character of Nora is that she's clairvoyant. She can sort of communicate with the dead and ghosts, and she thinks that she's been convincing herself that this isn't real, and that this is just part of that trauma, and that's kind of what's happened to her in her medical journey. But when she goes to this island, it all kind of starts to come back again, and yeah, it's kind of a free-for-all of horrific goings on. It's a film for horror fans, I would say, but also I think mainstream audiences will like it if you don't mind a little bit of jump scares. It's not completely terrifying, if I'm honest, and I think that has a good wide appeal. And for an indie film, it really does make good use of like a very simple location. It's largely just on this island and mostly inside a house, actually. So you don't feel like you're being given something of low quality. It's got quite high quality values. And also there's these, so you've got the sort of main scenes on the island, but there's also these sort of dream nightmare sort of scenes. And that keeps the film feeling very fresh and very appealing from an aesthetic point of view. That was also very unnerving, moving into Nola's kind of subconscious and what she thinks going on, and there's quite a few sections where it is scary. Like I said, I think mainstream audiences will generally be okay with that, but if you are easily scared, then maybe it's not a film for you. But yeah, in terms of the performances, really enjoyed Cait Moira. I think she was excellent in that leading role. There's a lot of heavy lifting to do there, because there's a lot of scenes where she's just by herself and she's scared. You got to sit there, got to act scared, and she does that really, really well. She really brings you in to her suffering and her terror. I think there's a lot there for audiences to connect with. She's a character that we really care about, and we're questioning everything just as much as she is. So it works on that level. Hunter Phoenix plays the doctor, and she's great as well. She's got this sort of really good bedside manner, but you can kind of tell maybe there's something going on. Maybe she's not all that she's saying. There's also Annette Duffy plays the nurse, very kind of formidable looking woman, and has a few scenes of herself that are quite striking and quite scary. Yeah, and it's also great to see a sort of largely female horror film, female cast, and it's excellent. It's really scary. It's really enjoyable, very heart racing. There's lots of moments that get you going and get you feeling like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know where this is going, and I don't know why things are happening. I think the only section I would say that gets a little bit let down is the sort of final third of the film. Once we sort of realise the sort of the situation that's going on with Nola's condition, with the island, with everything that's going on, it starts to sort of trip over itself a little bit, and it is quite confusing, and you may come away with questions. You may come away sort of thinking, why did that happen? Wait a minute. But like a lot of psychological thrillers, I feel this is one of those films that would benefit from multiple watches. I think when you rewatch it and then understand more what happens later, you're going to get even more fulfillment from that. So yeah, I mean, it's always good to recommend a film to watch more than once. So yeah, Schism is one of those films. But yeah, congrats to the filmmakers. It's a great horror film, and it's got lots of great depth in terms of the themes. The performances are great, and yeah, one to seek out, I think.